So a lot of times you hear the word Packer trim brisket. Packer trim, or a Packer brisket, I've heard that a lot. Well, really all that's referring to is they're coming from the packer in the bag you're getting them in. They're not repackaging them. They're not taking like a ribeye that they would take and cut ribeye steaks out of. We're just talking about it's the whole brisket. It's the whole thing. And so most of the time you see those out in the store, they're vacuum packaged. That it's been cryovac. That's just the name of the company that makes a lot of the bags. Okay? There's other companies that do that as well. What they're really referring to is it's vacuum packaged. So we're pulling all the air out as much as we can. And so when we do that, that means kind of a purple color when you see it in the store. As you expose it back to oxygen, it starts turning red, like it should. And we can get into the science of that maybe tomorrow when we're doing that. But anyway, just gives you an opportunity to kind of know. And those bags it extends shelf life and keeps some of those spoilage bacteria from growing, all those kind of things for us. And we put them in a box together, and the boxes don't get all messed up and those kind of things. These bags may have several things on them. This is an IBP or Tyson brisket here. And it has the grade, and we'll talk about grades this afternoon. This happens to be a select. It also has a little inspection insignia here, a little bug on there that gives you that it's U.S. inspected and passed. It actually has an establishment number on there. So you could literally get on the web and find out what plant of Tyson's, IBP's Tyson's plant that was produced in. Because each one of them has a different number. Now, inspection's different from grading. We'll talk about that this afternoon. But inspection, everything's inspected. If you see a ad in the paper and they say we only sell USDA inspected meat, well, if they didn't, they're going to jail. So it doesn't really mean a whole lot. But that's just the way it is. I mean, they'll use that a lot of times as a selling point, and yeah, it all has to be inspected. It does not have to be graded. Grading's a marketing tool. Grading's not a safety tool. So, we'll talk about those, but this is vacuum packaged. You can see we pull all the air out, and there's some times where those packages will be a little loose, and I'll talk a little bit in just a minute about why. This was some interesting ones. We actually had some of these here for the program. There's that select one, and it's up close where you can see. What is that? 245E. Is that what you're looking for? But here's one. This is a prime. It says certified Angus, so it was a prime CAB brisket. Has that 246C number there, so inspected and passed. This one was one we got from a different source. And it's really one that they said, we're going to just we've got the whole gamut on here for you. This one's choice, happens to be certified Angus, and we'll talk about the difference in what choice and CAB means this afternoon. It has a safe handling label on it. Especially anything that's ground and raw has to have a safe handling label that goes to the public. And so if you're buying ground beef, you're going to see a safe handling label. You don't necessarily have to have those on a brisket, but like this, but they put one on there. It's also got product of USA. So that plant on that day was harvesting and then cutting cattle that were only produced, harvested here in the United States. Okay?
Did you say that was 245E?
E. That was E.
That's the second shift of Amarillo.
So, see, we know, not only do we know what plant, we know what shift within that plant. And second shift is always a little wilder than the first shift. But it's interesting, you don't see all of this information on a lot of the products because you don't see as many of them out in the case as you do briskets. And I think we're seeing more and more of this because these are being sold as as is. Packer
And
trim.
you may talk about it this afternoon, a lot of it's also come because of, again, breaking the boxes or again, wholesale clubs. So then they've got the identity going further on that.